Good evening, we are back for blog number 4, I think, maybe. And it's another theatre review, and this time it is, oh that's rubbish, can't see that. It was Dunsinane, which I saw at the King's Theatre about a month ago, and I really enjoyed it. The Dunsinane, it is a collaboration between National Theatre of Scotland and the Royal Shakespeare Company. Dunsinane is set at the end of Macbeth, but instead of, in the original story of Macbeth, Lady Macbeth goes mad and dies. In this one, she is still alive, and it's right at the end of the play, and this story is all about Captain Seward, the English captain who helped Malcolm take back the throne. And it starts just at the end. Macbeth literally has just been killed at the beginning of the play, and it unravels from there, but it turns out that Malcolm is not the only one that is legally has a right to the throne, because Lady Macbeth actually has a son who wasn't Macbeth's son. So yeah, so this son still technically has a claim to the throne because his mother was the queen, even if it wasn't totally legit how she became to be queen. Anyway, so Captain Seward has to convince all the clans and the tribes, or the clans really, that it should be Malcolm who is king. And yeah, it was an interesting play. Being a big fan of Shakespeare and loving Macbeth as a story, it didn't really take away anything. I mean, obviously they're changing the end of the story, but I still think it was a good play in itself. They took inspiration from David Gregg. Sorry, it was written by David Gregg. Should pop that in there. David Gregg took inspiration from the character from the person that Lady Macbeth is based on. I want to say, yeah, the original person is called Gruach, but in Dunsinane she's known as Gruach. Not entirely sure why that is. Even the associate director did not know why that was. For me, I liked, in general, there was no problem with the acting for me. The only thing was sometimes the voice. The person playing Captain Seward, sometimes his articulation wasn't great, so I was kind of like, oh, what did he just say? And I'd miss stuff, and that kind of annoyed me. But on the whole, he was good. As with the person who played Lady Macbeth, I don't think she was ever called Lady Macbeth in it. I think she was called Gruach the whole way through. She had an accent, and it was a sort of mix of like a Highlands, Central, Mainland, every kind of Scottish accent all in one, but sometimes it went really off. I mean, at one point I think she was Indian, and there was Irish in there as well, and I don't know, I liked what they were trying to do. I just don't think they quite achieved it with the accent, in my opinion. One of the things, well no, a couple of things I really loved about Dunsinane was it challenged your opinions of the characters that are in Macbeth. When you watch Macbeth, you're very much like, you want Malcolm to be king. Malcolm should be king. He's the rightful person. He'll be much better than Macbeth because Macbeth killed his way to the top. And you do genuinely think that. You think when Malcolm takes over the throne, it's going to be happily ever after. Dunsinane proves that Malcolm was actually a dick. Malcolm is the sort of guy who you would not want as your king. And it's weird because no one ever thinks about it like that. No one ever thinks, maybe Lady Macbeth could be a better queen than Malcolm is a better king. And for me, the question of maybe that is something that could have happened is something that genuinely interests me. Another thing that I really loved about the play was how quickly it would snap from comedy to tragedy. I mean, there was one scene that the English soldiers are larking about in the castle. There's the hen girl, she was called the hen girl, and one of them really fancies her. So he goes to like have a wee dance, and the lads are like, oh, pretend to hit her with an arrow. So he like pretends, and they go up to each other, and then all of a sudden she stabs him. It's all happy, and then bam! bam, and it just goes a bit mental, and I don't know why, but I loved it. I just loved that. I was sitting there going, what just happened? Why is this happening? And for me, that just made it one of the enjoyable things. I got to go to a talk beforehand with the associate director for the production, and he was explaining how it's been on tour 3 times, or it's been produced 3 times, and it's very much those who like the two main characters, Lady Macbeth and Seward. They are the 2 people who worked on the play when it was being written. They were helped workshop it with the Royal Shakespeare Company, and I really like that. I love that they love this production and these characters so much that they've stayed with it for so long. I mean, 3 tours is a really long time. And yeah, another thing that really interests me about this production was that everywhere they go, they use, and I can't remember the word, supernumerals, I want to call them. That's probably not right. Where the associate director goes ahead to the next venue, and they source young actors from the area to take part in the sort of chorusy parts of the play. And for me, it just makes you feel like they're involving the community, and I think that's something that's really big, because theatre should be involving a community and bringing a community together. So for them to do that, I think it's something I've not really heard of before. I know people have done it in other productions, but it's just something I've not really heard of. So yeah, it was overall I really enjoyed it, and I've gone way over. Yeah, I'm at like 7 minutes now on my review, so there's probably going to be a lot of umming and ahhing that I'm probably not going to be able to cut out. So I'm going to wrap it up whilst I'm still under 10 minutes, and see you on the next blog review. Goodbye!